Hi, this is Thomas from Bowls, and this is the Leviathan Warhammer 40k box set, the Marine side of things. Hey, if you want to know more about 10th edition, please subscribe, because we're going to be covering a lot. There's going to be lots of discussion of probably all the different armies, different things coming out there with me, with other people. And if not there, check out the website where you'll see me writing a bunch about 10th edition. It's the new game. And so it's well worth it kind of check out and check things out and see if you're interested in seeing more about how this game works and everything else. Check our description. We're going to have a bunch of links to the army guides as we update them all for 10th edition, so you can see how you want to go and how to complete your army or get a new army or change anything up, and what kind of you should go into the next kind of purchasing after looking at this. So right here you got the Marine Terminator captain. You know, you're going to see him probably with the Terminators. You're going to see later on this video. This is who's going to ride around with it. He is a combat creature who's basically going to help the unit that he's in be better in combat and everything else. He is obviously bigger than the normal captains you've seen before. It's a new model. He has the normal pose of I am stomping on something a little bit higher than the other side. But it's a pretty wonderful model. Like, it came together pretty good. As you can see, he's pretty open, like his arms are out there, so it made it much easier to paint than everything else. He's not covering himself up. He is not too heavily ornate, which I liked a lot, because you get these problems where they've decided to go to the tchotchkes kind of place and put a bunch of buttons and doodads and whatnots. And well, look, man, you're not going to get an extra tip from me. You're going to get what you're going to get. And this guy's pretty cool. Like, I was pretty happy with him. I thought it was pretty neat, and I did him Blood Angels because that's what I prefer to do. We have a bunch of Primaris, because guys, you can tell, Apothecaries. And this is the guy in the Gravis armor, so most likely he's going to go with any kind of Gravis unit, since I think they're pretty well locked into basically what units they can touch and kind of go into. Usually when you have an Apothecary, most of the time they're there healing guys or, damaging wounds, and so I'm going to guess that's what he's going to do in the unit that he's in, specifically a Gravis unit. That way he matches up his profile and everything else there, and he's going to bring guys back or heal them up. He's pretty neat. He's got this big, huge canister. I'm going to guess that it's going to be some extra organs that he harvested from someone on the battlefield. His normal big, I think it's Absolver bolt gun or bolt pistol. But again, he's pretty neat. And his left foot is on a rock, while his right foot is not, so that's pretty cool. It's a different shift in the change of things. Overall, I thought he was pretty good from a model perspective. He came together pretty well. He's got little cables and back behind there, and paint-wise, he was pretty neat. Overall, his texture and the form on it was made it pretty easy, and again, he's complicated with stuff on it, but he's not overly complicated, making it kind of a chore to paint every single piece. So I liked him, pretty good. Here you've got a Terminator Librarian. As you can tell, it's another Terminator, which means that he's most likely going to join some Terminators that are in this box set. He's a Librarian. He casts psychic powers, even though there's not a psychic phase in this game anymore. He's basically going to help the unit be better at whatever he's going to give them, whether it's some kind of ability to shoot better, fight better, or maybe even just be more protected into what he's going to deal with. But that's what this guy's going to do. Combat-wise, he's okay, or should be okay, but usually he's just a support character that makes the unit better. So here's the Phobos Lieutenant. It's interesting because there's no other Phobos units in the box set, so I'm going to guess he's some kind of a lone person doing stuff, because he looks like he's murdered some Tyranids. Again, it's a pretty nice model. He is pretty one of the ones that are so heavily covered in stuff, but a lot of it kind of makes sense. There's trophies and everything else on there, so it kind of breaks the overall form of the model. He went together pretty easily. Again, most Marine stuff did, especially these snap fit like that. Everything is you don't have to have glue, but you will glue these things because you want them to stay together. It kind of make it a little easier to paint stuff later on if you want to paint piece by piece, especially the backpack and everything else on there. But he's pretty neat. He's looks like he's an angry little dude who's going to go knock stuff out. I'm going to guess he maybe can join with Reavers and some of the other Phobos Marines and make them a little bit rougher and meaner. So here's the Dreadnought. It's not a Primaris Dreadnought. It's just a Dreadnought with long, fancy legs. I forget what the name of it's supposed to be, because it's basically a double gun Dreadnought with no arms. But if you know anything about Dreadnought, a guy is dead inside of it, locked in forever, and shooting at you with all its bullets and guns and everything else. You got the missile launcher and the twin las. I don't know if it's even a twin las this time. I think it's a different kind of las cannon name with little storm bolters in the chest. Pretty neat. And again, as you can tell, he's stepping on a rock, because rocks need to not live in the 40k universe. And there you go, the Dreadnought. So here we have the Primaris Infernus Squad. You get 10 of them in the box set. There's 5 painted here. But these guys are basically, they carry a flamer like the Black Templar ones, if you know the Black Templars. If you don't know this, it's basically a flamer. Everyone has one on there, and they get to shoot you with it. And the reason why these flamers are important is that they just auto-hit. So instead of having to roll anything else on there, just D6 hits, or I think they can do a little more than that, and they basically cover a unit, especially in a bigger unit, and you can have 10 of them. So that's a lot of auto-hits that let you go directly into the wound phase, which is very important. As you, the less rolls you do, is usually the better, or less rolls you have to do is usually better for you to play. Sternguard. So if you remember, if you've played before, these obviously look bigger than the normal Sternguard, and they're just labeled as Sternguard, so they're not necessarily Primaris Sternguard, but they're really Primaris Sternguard. These guys are just the veteran elite of the Space Marine Force. They usually carry some high-powered, devastating weapons. They can do a couple different things on there, and that's why kind of important. They're like a very specific knife in the fight for Marines, where they are very deadly into certain stuff. But that's what these guys are, because their gold helmet means they're veterans, and they're kind of more the elite choice of the Space Marine Codex. Terminators. So as you show, they were a big kind of showcase in the reveals. This is an updated Terminator kit. It still looks like the old Terminator kit, but it's obviously taller, bigger, a little more spread out. Makes it a little bit easier to paint. Makes it look a little more fancy and a little kind of scarier on that. So the reason why these Terminators are better than anything else is because they're tougher. They're a toughness 5. They have a 4 invulnerable save, 3 wounds. They're supposed to be the chunky kind of take a bunch of damage from the enemy unit that just kind of trundles at the field ready to wreck your face. I'm happy that they didn't go crazy with the changes on it to make it even more different, even so it still feels like a Terminator and yet is an updated and cooler model. Paint-wise, same as the old ones. They're big and chunky. Every kind of piece you can do is pretty good, and they're pretty neat. You can see they have a assault cannon, which is something they're kind of pushing on there. The kit is only had the assault cannon. There is no heavy flamer, which makes me kind of sad. You get this little rapid ingress token, which is again to showcase a stratagem where they can teleport on the table. Like, I think this whole thing shoots down, it sticks in the ground, and that's where they come off of the teleportation. So that's what's kind of mean by this little thing over here. That's all it's really there for. So yeah, there you got Terminators, big mean veterans of the Space Marine chapter. Well, that's the Space Marine side of the Leviathan box set. If you're interested in seeing the NID side of things, click on the link over here. If you want to learn more about how to actually play this game, click the link over here. Thanks for watching. This is Thomas from Bowles. You can call me Goat Boy if you see me around and about.